Homerjnick here, and this video is my plan for Season 13 of Diablo 3 on the PS4. Now, I took a break from Diablo 3 in Season 12 after the current exploits in the game made competing on the leaderboards a lot harder, given many players abuse exploits to gain an advantage. So why am I returning to Season 13, given that there's no patch in between Season 12 and Season 13, and meaning Season 13 will play exactly the same as Season 12? Well, two reasons really. Whilst there are many players at the top end of the leaderboards who do use exploits, there are still many in the top who do not. You can compete without exploiting. And in a lot of cases, many of the legit players have beaten the exploiters depending on how they play. And then there's also the large disparity between group play and solo play. One of my good friends on the PlayStation Network, Sparks Fly Swifty, or D Pastor on Reddit, or Dave as we now know him, and he's posted on his experience on running every season solo on the PlayStation 4 and Diablo 3, and the kind of the negative effects that he feels from not grouping up just to gain paragon or legendary gem ranks. But with the buff that was in patch 2.6.1 for Season 12, solo players have closed the gap a little to group playing. Yeah, and it's nowhere near enough to satisfy the solo player experience, but it is a lot closer. Thus, my goal in Season 13 is twofold: to see how I can compete on the leaderboards in Greater Rifts as a dedicated solo-only player, and secondly, to prove how well a player can compete in a season without exploiting at all, because I'm going to stream every session I do on Season 13 to YouTube, so it's there as a record to show that how far you can go without exploiting or cheating. So, I need to have a plan to tackle Season 13, and particularly the start and how to level up to level 70. So for the remainder of this video, I'm going to detail how I'm going to tackle Season 13. I've done a little bit of research as how to best to level up solo, and whilst no means perfect, I believe this strategy will give me a good start. Now, I'm from Scotland, I'm in the UK, so Friday the 23rd of February 2018 at 1 AM UK time, or 5 PM PDT when the Season 13 starts, I'll be online and streaming, raring to go for Season 13. I'll be playing hardcore as I normally do, and I'll be playing a monk. I've really only ever played two classes seriously in Diablo 3 since I've owned the game in 2014, and that's a monk and a wizard. I'm not really that familiar with any other class. I did run as a Rathma Necro and zdps Necro in Season 11 for a while, but no, monk and wizard are my main forte, and I'll be running a hardcore monk, particularly because Hadrian's Gift is a Sun Wukong set for Season 13. That's what I'll be going for. So I've kind of got like a 9-step plan on how I'm going to get from the start of season up to level 70 as fast as possible, ready to push on in Season 13. So I'm going to now detail that plan that I've kind of gathered together. If you've got any other tips or any other further comments, please tell me in the comments of this video so it can help me achieve my goal. But let's get stuck into this plan then to get to level 70 as fast as possible. Okay, so step one is to create a seasonal character. So obviously I can't do that at the moment, but I'm going to create a hardcore monk, and I'm going to make sure that it's hardcore there, and we're going to get into the game. You can call it what you want. I'm going to go into adventure mode and choose hard setting and get in the game. So that is my seasonal character created, ready to carry on. The first thing I'm going to do is to equip a pet that floats. The reason being that that will help collect gold, and of course at the start gold is indeed one of the things that you need the most. It's that premium, and a floating pet certainly seems to help with collecting gold. So I'm going to equip a pet that floats like I've done. And then next, going to hire the Templar, and I'm going to steal his weapon. His weapon is always better than the one that you start with. It offers far better damage. So I simply steal his weapon and I'm good to go. That is step one. To create your seasonal character, to equip a pet that floats, and to steal your follower's weapon. So now we're ready for step two. So step two is very simple. What we want to do is not play the game. Is we quit the game and we want to then go into the weekly challenge rift. Now it's key that you haven't completed this week's challenge rift when the season starts. You want to complete this challenge rift after you've created your seasonal character, because then you can collect the seasonal bounty reward for the challenge rift for your seasonal character. So you create your seasonal character, you quit the game, we then go in and we do the weekly challenge rift, and you beat it to get the reward. You can practice the weekly challenge rift before the season starts. Just make sure that you do not complete it to earn the reward prior to creating your seasonal hero. That is the key. So I can now go, this is before the season starts, I can go in, I can now practice the challenge rift. I mean, you know, I don't even know what is this. It is some sort of Crusader. Yeah, it's a Crusader. I haven't played the Crusader much at all. So on Friday, do I want to then go into this Virgin and not know what it is? No, I can practice this challenge rift. I just won't complete it. I'll make sure I won't complete it in time. I won't earn the challenge rift reward, but I'll make sure I know what I'm doing before Friday. And then when it comes to Friday and season is live, I'll do step one. I'll create my character. I'll then come in here and quickly as possible complete the challenge rift to earn that bounty reward. And we're going to use that reward to boost our prospects of hitting 70 faster, which is in the next few steps. But yeah, step two is to quit the game and to do the weekly challenge rift, which, as I said, you could practice before a season starts. Just do not complete it. That is step two. So let's then move on to step three. Okay, so step three. We now want to go back into the game. We want to go back into adventure mode, and most people like to select hard, as is the best of progress, but you can still one-shot most things. So once you go back into the game, after you've completed step two with the challenge rift, you will notice down here you will be able to collect your challenge rift reward. Now the reward that it contains is hugely significant for a player who is just starting out in a season. What are the rewards for a weekly challenge rift? Well, they are as follows: 10 death breaths, 475 blood shards, 4.6 million gold, 15 of each bounty crafting material, 107 veiled crystals, 301 arcane dust, and 318 reusable parts. So what you want to do is step 3 is to collect those in adventure mode, and then immediately start gambling at Kadala for certain items. You've got 475 blood shards to hopefully get a couple of legendaries that will certainly help you. Now, there is a D3 planner link that will enable you to choose which item you can gamble for and which is best for your class. Here is a little screenshot of this link here for the monk that I'm going to use when I'm deciding what I want to gamble my blood shards for. But once I collect the challenge rift rewards and open up the bag and collect all my stuff, and I'm going to grab my shards and I'm going to gamble them, I'm going to try and get something. And I'm going to try and get the Crudus boots or the Riviera boots, Gungdo gear, Pindo Pride or Caesar Memento bracers. One of these items, even two of these items, would be absolutely wonderful for me. I would love the gear to have elemental damage, main stat, crit hit chance and crit hit damage, but you can't be fussy at this stage of the game. But that's what step 3 is going to do. You're going to come back into adventure mode and hard with your level 1 character, and you're going to immediately gamble your 475 blood shards that you collect from your weekly challenge rift and try to get a useful legendary item ready for step 4. Okay, so in step 3 you've collected your challenge rift reward and gambled your blood shards with Kadala to try and get a legendary item. So you're still level 1 character, ready to go on the season, and the first thing you want to do in step 4 is to find an easy boss that you can kill that's part of a bounty. So if you carry on in the game, and I normally like to try either Zoltan Kuhl or Magda, and then both bosses in this game session are flagged as a bounty. Well, in fact, the Zoltan Kuhl isn't, but Magda is. So whatever boss you fancy that it's easy to kill, you want to make sure that it's a bounty marked in your game. You can tell that with the exclamation mark on the map. And what you want to do is to kill that boss as level 1. It's going to be very easy to do that, even on hard difficulty. Why would you want to do this? Well, it gives you a resplendent chest. And within that there's going to be gems and crafting materials, but also lots of good yellow rare items. So straight off the bat, level 1 character, you want to find an easy boss. And as I say, either Magda or Zoltan Kuhl are two very easy to do because they're right next to the waypoint, and you just want to kill them, making sure that they are flagged as a bounty with the exclamation mark. If they're not, simply exit the game and go back in until they are. But doing that for step 4 will give you a resplendent chest and will give you lots of goodies to play with. So that's step 4, is kill an easy boss that's marked as a bounty. And that leads us on to step 5. Okay, so step 5. This is really a kind of optional step. It's one that seems to be recommended by a few people, but I'm not quite sure if it's really that important. It will shave a few seconds off. But what you want to do is go to the Halls of Agony level 3. This level has just mainly skeletons as the enemies. You can kill them easy, you can kill them fast, considering you've got the follower's weapon. And you've got some legendary items perhaps from Kadala when you gambled your blood shards from the challenge rift rewards. So what you want to do is just blast through this level until you're at level 11. So it might take 1 or 2 sweeps through it. Simply just run through it, kill, exit the game, come back into the same Halls of Agony level 3 and just do that. They're going to be very easy enemies to kill, and you'll get experience, and perhaps you'll also get kill streaks and massacre bonuses, which, as we know, boosts experience, and that will be perhaps key to leveling up faster. So you want to just come to here after you've killed an easy boss in step 4. Step 5, you want to come to the Halls of Agony level 3 in Act 1 and kill the enemies until you're a level 11. And then you're going to stop the Halls of Agony 3, and you want to go on to step 6. Okay, so step 6. When you've reached a level 11 by running through the Halls of Agony, you want to stop doing that because you've unlocked at level 11 amulets that you can buy from the vendor. Amulets unlock at level 11 and rings unlock at level 7. And you can go to any of the Acts vendors to buy these rings and amulets. The one in Act 1 is all the way up here that sells the rings and the amulets. And then what you want to do is go to the vendor that sells these, and you want to buy rings and amulets because you've got plenty of gold to do so. What you want to do is to buy rings and amulets that have plus 2 to 4 damage on them. These make a huge difference when you're at these lower levels. So if you can get rings with whatever stats are on them, but you know, plus 2 to 4 damage will be key on them. These will unlock at level 11 for amulets, level 7 for rings. So step 6, what you want to do is to grab a vendor from any of the acts and buy 2 rings and 1 amulet with the plus damage on them. And that will certainly boost your damage so you can blast through later into the later levels. So that's step 6, and that leads us on to step 7. Okay, so you're ready for step 7, and step 7 is the one where you spend the most time, and that is simply to do Nephilim rifts. Do them on hard because you've got the Follower's Weapon and various other things. You're going to kill things very easy. You just want to go into a Nephilim rift and just start clearing that rift. Clear through the entire rift. If you kill the Rift Guardian, you've got good mob density. Carry on in the rift. Don't just close the rift. Carry on. Kill all the enemies inside it, and enjoy the benefits if it's a good density and good mob and map layouts in that rift. But step 7 is you're just going to start to do normal rifts to level up. Now if the RNG gods are with you and there's a legendary that drops when you're inside one of these rifts, and it's a good legendary where you could extract that legendary skill into Kanaya's cube, then there's no harm in just stopping the rift and then going to Act 3 and going to the Ruins of Secheron and going to get Kanaya's cube. Remember that you've got bounty materials for each act that you got from the Challenge Rift reward, which means you can extract legendary item skills into Kanaya's cube because you've got those crafting materials. So if you find a really good legendary that will really help you, stop what you're doing, stop doing your normal rifts and go and get Kanaya's cube from the Ruins of Secheron in Act 3. But yeah, step 7 is you're going to start to do normal rifts when you're level 11 after you've bought your rings and your amulets. And that then leads on to step 8. Okay, so you're ready for step 8. At step 8, at level 16, you stop doing Nephilim rifts. And what you do is you exit the game, and instead of going into adventure mode, you want to choose campaign mode, start off in Act 1 and the beginning quest, and do it on normal difficulty. And what you want to do is equip any of your mobility skills that you've already unlocked, and you want to get to the final boss in Act 1, that is the Skeleton King, as quickly as possible. Because you're playing it on easy or normal mode, you're going to do this very easily and very quickly. You're going to one-shot things very, very quickly. So all you want to do is to quit the adventure mode, come into campaign, and run through to Skeleton King as fast as possible. Why do you want to do this? Well, the Skeleton King in campaign mode, as long as you haven't done it before with his character, it will always drop Leoric's crown as a legendary item when you kill him. And as you know, when you get the Leoric's crown, it doubles the gem that's socketed into it. So naturally, we're going to put a ruby into that to boost experience, and the Leoric's crown is going to double the percentage of the rubies boost to experience points. That is a huge benefit in the game. So at level 16, I stop doing my rifts. I come into the campaign mode on easy, I then run through it as fast as possible, kill a Skeleton King, and get my Leoric's crown and whack whatever ruby that I have into it. Now, for solo, that's what I'm going to do. In multiplayer, if you've got a 4-man group, or if you're playing a group, there's absolutely no harm, and it makes sense that perhaps 3 players do Nephilim Rifts, and they run that, while 1 player in the group starts the campaign mode and runs through easy. And when just before he gets the Skeleton King, he can then invite the others in, and they can all come in, get the Leoric's crown, and then go back to do Nephilim Rifts. So in a group setting, it's great that 1 person can go off and do this while the rest of them remain in Nephilim Rifts leveling up. The person who does the campaign mode will be a couple of levels behind for sure, but they'll easily catch up later on. But for solo, I'm going to stop at a level 16 and come into here, step 8, to go on the campaign mode, kill a Skeleton King, get Leoric's crown, whack a ruby in it for more experience boosts. So that is step 8. After we're finished then getting Leoric's crown, I'll naturally go back into adventure mode to do normal Nephilim Rifts again, and continue on in the progress to level 70. So there's just one more step to go, and that is step 9. Okay, so step 9. Step 9 you'll do when you're around about level 40. What you want to do is, at level 40, you stop doing your Nephilim Rifts and go to the blacksmith and craft a level 70 weapon. It'll be a rare weapon, yellow one, and what you want to do is just craft one of these. And what you're wanting to get is one with the reduced level requirement, so that you can use it before level 70. So there's a couple of tricks to get this quite easy. So here's a level 70 weapon that I've crafted. It's got dex, vitality and attack speed. But the key to getting level reduction requirement, if it doesn't roll with it, is the secondary there, the chance to immobilize on hit. And I'll explain what I mean in a minute. But the stats that you really want are the main stats. So, you know, for me in Monk it's dexterity. I would love a socket on that weapon so that I could put in a green gem. I would love percentage damage plus 10% or whatever, but it hasn't rolled with that. But I'd love that. And of course I want level reduction requirement, but they're very specific rules to get. So you'll take what you can get. But as I said, you want to get the reduced level requirement. Now, if we go to the Mystic and enchant one of these, if you notice, if I select on the secondary here, the chance to immobilize on hit, and see what it can re-roll as, you'll see there's a plethora of options there. There's so many chances to stun, blind, freeze, chill, slow. I've got experience per kill, and such like, and I don't want that. I want level reduction requirement. So the key to this is, if you have on your item one of these chance to do something on hit, then it means the other secondary, if you enchant it, re-roll it, then it won't have any of those other options. So if you highlight the other secondary, which is life after each kill, you will notice that now it can't get any of those chance to do something secondary rolls. So all I can get is life after each kill, which I've already got, experience per kill, ignore durability, and there's the level requirement reduced by 2 to 30. And so the key is to getting, if I don't get the level requirement reduction on the weapon itself as a roll, or if it's a poor roll, as long as I get the chance to do something, then I'll re-roll the other secondary, and it's a 1 in 4 chance, 1 in 3 chance to get the level requirement reduction by. And you just want the ability to re-roll that to get as minus 30 or 30 levels as close as possible, which means that a level 70 weapon could be used at level 40. That is going to make another huge difference to you getting to level 70 as fast as possible. So step 9 is craft a level 70 weapon. Try and get socket, main stat, percentage damage, and you want the reduction in level requirements to be as close to 30 as possible. If it doesn't roll with the level requirement, then as long as it has the chance to do something on hit, then you use the mystic and you enchant the other secondary roll, and it's going to be a 1 in 3 shot to get the level requirement reduction that you want. So that is step 9, and that is basically all 9 steps. You then just want to be able to get onto level 70 as fast as possible, doing Nephilim rifts after that. Now when you get to level 70, you then obviously want to start getting your Hadrian's gifts, and that means going through the seasonal journey. I use this link here to keep tabs of my seasonal journey and what I need to do to get all the various Hadria gift parts. It's a very good link. You can just tick off as you go through them all, and you know what you're working towards. And you just want to complete your seasonal journey tabs so you get all parts of your Hadrian's gift. And then you're on your way. And you're on your way to gearing your character up to level 70 to try and hit GR 70 so you can unlock primals and go for your leaderboard entries. And so that's kind of the 9 steps that I'm going to try and use to get to level 70 as fast as possible. But just before I wrap up this video, I just want to cover what builds that I am going to aim for as a hardcore monk. So there are some helpful guides to help us get along to level 70, and not just endgame builds, but also builds to get you to level 70. So as you can see here in Diablo fans, Bloodshed's put one up which uses all yellow rares and tells you the skills to use along with that, and that can be quite handy if you don't know what skills to use as you're progressing to level 70. So that's quite a good one from diablofans.com. Of course, not just Diablo fans do one, Icy Veins does one as well. They do a leveling build as well, and they give you the active skills and the passive skills, and generally there's quite a good guide on just how to level up to level 70 on Icy Veins as well. So that's another site that I always refer to as well as I'm trying to do something in Diablo 3. So yeah, they have one too for leveling up, a beginner's build so to speak, for each class. So I definitely recommend checking that out as you aim to hit level 70. Another good website is Team BRGs. Again, they have for every class a kind of leveling build too, and they detail it here, and you can see that in their recommended build by level 30 you can have all the skills that you need unlocked, and you just need your items to go along with that. So that, again, that's quite a good one. From level 30 onwards you don't really have to worry too much about what skills you're going to have, because they're all unlocked at level 30. So yeah, Team BRGs is a good one again to refer to for progressing builds, for building up to level 70. So that's a good one too. For the monk end game builds, well, the Sunruko Wave of Light build is obviously very strong, and this is one of the builds that's recommended that you aim for. This is the kind of soft core variant. This is the one with the focus and restraint. That's a very good Diablo fans link to that build if you want to go for that one. I'm probably not going to do this one until maybe at the end, at the very end of the season, simply because it's very squishy and I'll be playing hardcore. That one supposedly can do 115, and as I said, that's the one without Epiphany. It's got a generator and procs the focus and the restraint. So that's one that I'll maybe try, but the one that I'm going to try is this one. So this one is certainly a hardcore friendly, and it's one that Datmos put up. It's the Sunruko Wave of Light again. but it doesn't have the generator to proc, focus and restraint. It has epiphany for more damage reduction, and it uses the convention of elements and the unity again for more damage reduction and damage burst, rather than the focus and restraint. Focus and restraint version can do higher, greater rifts, but you certainly have to get in and amongst the enemies to proc your generator, your primary generator, to hit an enemy with it to get the focus and restraint proccing, and I don't fancy that in hardcore. I'll keep it safe. So I'm going to use this one for the majority of the season. So being a bit of a geek, I put a spreadsheet together with the builds of what's required. This is the kind of the softcore variant. This is the one with focus and restraint that I'll maybe do at the very end of the season, but I've got the build, I've got the skills, I've got the legendary gems and the Kanaya's cube, and then I've got my little spreadsheet there with the gear and the stats that I'm aiming for that I can then check off as I get them as I progress on the season. But that's the kind of the one that's kind of more softcore friendly, more with more damage and a bit more squishy. So I'm not going to have that one as my main one just yet. I'm going to have this one. So this will be my main build for the season, and I'm already there, as you can see, with all that I need, and I'll check off the gear and the stats that I need on each piece of gear, along with all the skills and gems and Kanaya's cube. So yeah, so I'm ready to go for season 13. I've got my plan that I've just detailed to you. I've got I know what I'm doing at each stage, and I know what I'm aiming for end game. So I'm quite excited. Since I took a break in season 12, season 13 will be very good for me. I said I've got two goals in mind: to see what the difference in solo play and group play is across a whole season, and to stream every session onto YouTube and show that you can compete on the leaderboards without exploiting, as many players have already proved. But it's good to show it. So I'm going to be on every night. I'll probably play a few hours each day, more at the weekends. I'll be streaming every session onto YouTube. Feel free to come and watch me play. I'll be enabling audio, and you can even chat and join on with me if you want. I'll be playing solo, so I won't be doing any multiplayer or any grouping up whatsoever, but I will be enjoying interacting with various ones. I will be playing at night. I am a Scotsman. I drink. I'll get drunker and drunker as the night goes on. That's part and parcel of it. There isn't such a thing as a sober Scotsman. It's what I enjoy doing. I play Diablo 3 and I have a drink. So it's going to be good fun. I look forward to season 13. I hope you've got your plans finalised, your class, you know what you're doing, you've got a good group or whatever you've got planned. But yep, this Friday the 23rd of February, we're going to go live with season 13. I can't wait. I'm homerjnick, and I'm out of here.